This is the Vert Trainer, and I think it's the future. To understand why it's such a game changer, you first need to learn about the Vertec.
The Vertec was created in the 90s, a brilliant show of engineering and utility. It helped test athletes, give feedback throughout training cycles, and provide scouts with highly sought-after metrics. It soon found its way into universities, training facilities, and even the homes of a select few. But there was a glaring problem. The price. The average person might be granted access on special occasions, once a year, maybe every 6 months. Otherwise, they found themselves largely shut out. More than 30 years later, with the birth of the Vert Trainer, this problem was solved. A way to accurately test and train your vertical jump at a fraction of the price. But that's just the beginning of the benefits. The future is here.
It's now easier than ever to jump higher. Between training, recovery, nutrition, there is so much info out there. But the most overlooked aspect of jumping higher has got to be measurable feedback. Now, maybe you guys have heard about max intent and how that drives performance and improvement, but this all ties in to measurable feedback and why it's so important. The Vert Trainer is the future because it gives athletes like you and me the ability to train, track, and test their vertical jump independently whenever they want. In other words, it gives us easy and frequent access to measurable feedback. Vert Trainer currently costs $279, and for what it is and what it does, I think that may be too cheap already, but with my code CHI, you can get an extra 10% off. You'll be helping me, the channel, and also getting a really incredible training tool. But what's so good about measurable feedback?
There's what's called Pearson's Law. When performance is measured, performance improves. And when performance is measured and reported back, the rate of improvement accelerates.
You may not realize this, but we already use measurable feedback in our day-to-day lives. Let's say you're trying to become a chef or just become a better cook. While you're cooking, you taste the food along the way to see how it's coming out. Without measurable feedback, it's like not being able to taste the food as you're cooking it. When you're learning how to play the piano, you can hear the notes and you're getting auditory feedback. Without measurable feedback, it would be like trying to learn while wearing noise-canceling headphones. We also do them in fitness and athletics. I'll let Andy explain.
Most of us who play sports are competitive, either against others or against themselves. Last week, I did 225 on bench press. This week, I wanted to get 230, and you push yourself. But if you don't know what you did last time, where's that extra motivation, that max intent you're missing out on your workouts?
Basically, imagine going for a bench PR, and there's no way to tell how much you're lifting.
Now, I love jumping. And over the years, I've invested a lot of money into jumping higher, becoming a better dunker, and I've played with the idea of getting a Vertec, but at a $1,000 price point, it just didn't make sense. And on top of that, I'd have to deal with the nightmare of transporting it, storing it, setting it up, and tearing it down. Now, the Vert Trainer has quickly become one of my favorite tools for measuring, training, and tracking my vertical jump, just because it is so easy and fun to use. I can store it in my closet, I store it in my trunk, and I can drive it to the gym every couple weeks and test, train, and track my vertical jump. The Vert Trainer not only significantly improves on the price, but also the portability, the ease of use, and just how fun it is. It weighs 7 pounds compared to the 50 pounds of the Vertec. It also scales from 4 feet to 12 feet, which makes it useful for kids all the way to elite athletes, which is pretty rare.
Here's one secret thing, a lot of people don't do it. When it comes to jumping, you need to know how high you're jumping so you can push that max intent. Those are where the gains are. Jumping at 50%, 60%, that's not gonna get it. There's no gains for a vertical jump in the 60 to 70% range. You have to be right on the edge of what your abilities are. So in order to know what your abilities are, you have to be measuring it.
So you heard Andy talking about training just at the threshold of your ability and how that's gonna drive max intent. Now the Vert Trainer is even cooler in that the top target is a bell. So when you're going for the bell, you are now getting additional auditory feedback. You kind of just have to experience that yourself. If it excites you as much as it excites me, I'll leave a link to it in the description and you can see all the benefits for yourself. And happy jumping.